Pre-order XCOM 2 War of the Chosen, coming to consoles and PC August 29, 2017. Affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater. And you know what? James Cameron's been a bit of a chatty Cathy lately. He has. For a long time, it was like nothing. It was Avatar sequels, man. They're coming. They're coming at some point in time. We know I'm getting ready to start shooting 4 of them back to back or whatever the hell it is. And then we know that he wants to bring back the villains from the first film and make them the villains for the rest of the movies. The next thing I guess we're going to hear from him, and this is speculation, but what I believe is that, jokingly of course, that Michelle Rodriguez is going to come back from the grave, that she didn't die in that helicopter crash, and they were able to get her in the body of an avatar, of the Na'vi. So there we go. That's the next course of action for Cameron. But one of the other properties that Cameron's going to be working on is kind of a resurgence of the Terminator franchise. I think he wants to go back to that in order to finally be able to kind of like set it straight, because after Terminator 2, he was hands off and it's gone a multitude of directions. It's been 2 years since Terminator Genesis came out. And, that movie, I didn't think it was that bad. A lot of people out there didn't care for it. It didn't make a lot of money, but I think it maybe made enough money to like warrant kind of continuing it. But the people who had the property rights decided against it and just pretty much have decided to just let it run itself out until James Cameron gets the rights back in 2019. And we know that he's already talked to Tim Miller about picking up the franchise, and Schwarzenegger has already said that he's coming back in to reprise his role, this time not as the Terminator, but as the inspiration for the Terminator, and not in the same way it was done in Terminator 3's Sergeant Candy deleted scene, which is just ridiculously stupid, and I'm so happy they cut that. But in an interview talking about why he's coming back to the Terminator franchise, this is what James Cameron had to say, and it is pretty interesting. He says here, "I got out of the Terminator business after Terminator 2 because I didn't control the underlying IP. I had sold it off very early on when I was a nobody, not a director, nothing. And I was just thrilled to be working on a movie. When I became aware of the fact that I could get back into the control of the rights, then I started to ask myself, artistically, is there anything there? Is there anything to be said that I haven't already said that would be relevant in the 2020s, when these hypothetical films would come out? I thought, well, let's look at that. I mean, a lot of things that were science fiction in Terminator are now around us, from predator drones to actual discussions on ethics of having robot have its own decision to kill, possibilities, things like that. It's actually happening. So, okay, maybe there's room for a film that examines these themes, just as it just has to be retooled for an audience expectations from now. And that's a very astute way of looking at it, right? It's like kind of like Star Trek, for example. Star Trek, the original series, it very much kind of like shaped and molded our interpretation of the future. And as a result of that, a lot of the little devices that were just made up props, Hollywood magic, have actually become reality because people looked at Star Trek and they took those ideas and they turned them into real tangible things. And the same, I don't want to say the same can be said for Terminator, but there are similarities. There are similarities there that have come 30 years over from the first film to now, and taking those ideas and extrapolating on them and making it a socially relevant story. Because keep in mind that a lot of the stuff with Terminator was about nuclear annihilation, which coming, in the middle of between Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, we were still, we just got out of the Cold War, so there was still the fear of nuclear annihilation at the time. So it was somewhat culturally relevant, at least in the frame of where James Cameron might be when he wrote it. That's my guess, and everything else. So it's like, what's going to threaten us now, as a society? Is it an AI, an advanced AI that has the ability to snuff out life if it deems it necessary? Yeah, Skynet in its essence has always been a threat, and it still is a threat even in modern times. And so if he has the rights to it again, and he can sit down, he can craft out some stories, bring in Arnold Schwarzenegger, make it work, and maybe either move past the John Connor story or freaking finish it, I think would be good to give us a proper conclusion to Cameron's vision for the movie or for the franchise. Because, he has said that like Terminator 3 was like the definitive sequel, and he was positive about Terminator Genesis. But at the same time, he knows he doesn't want to badmouth his baby, you know what I mean? So he's not going to sit there and talk a bunch of crap about it. So he's probably going to be kinder than he should, maybe. But I'm curious to know where he's going to take this thing, because it seems fascinating. It seems interesting that's where he wants to go with it. I mean, if I had my way, if any film that he's done that we can get a sequel to, give me True Lies. I would gladly take True Lies 2, or even The Abyss 2, something like that, something different than stuff we've already seen, which, Avatar, yeah, it's one movie, but it's one movie 8 years ago almost, and it's going to be a couple more years until we get a whole slate of them coming out right before Christmas. And I don't know if he's going to be able to capitalize on that success, because that success is going to be over a decade old by the time we see the sequel. So I don't know. Cameron is a filmmaker who I trust implicitly, one who I very much respect and I very much love. And I'm looking forward to seeing whatever he comes up with. And you take that and you put that with Tim Miller, who is a very good visual director who can do it on a budget and make it look good, because that's, his graphics house, or his CG house, effects house, can actually do all that. Then I think we're going to be in for some pretty cool stuff. And I look forward to seeing what comes next. But the question is, you guys, what do you think? Do you think that we should just let the franchise die, let Terminator die, let Terminator Genesis just be the last one, or if he's gonna do it, should he just reboot it from scratch? No Schwarzenegger, no Edward Furlong, no Linda Hamilton, and just go from there, and just a whole new story set in that same franchise, or what? I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This has been $3 Theater. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day. Peace out.